Hello everyone. It's been a while since I made a video. This was supposed to be for around the end of March, but I got a little busy, and I ended up not making it. It's Easter Sunday today. Happy late Easter, because this video won't be out till maybe a week from now. I gotta get the YouTuber voice out. Okay. If you're new here, I totally don't expect you to believe me when I say this, but at one point, I had a fan base of about 11,000 people. Goddamn. Of course, I got nuked by Instagram, and even though it's been a few months since, I still won't shut the fuck up about it. But hey, what are you gonna do? At first, I was pretty devastated. I worked hard to get to that point, you know? But now I feel like, even though it was a huge bummer, especially when I lost contact with a handful of friends, I think that overall, it was a blessing in disguise. You see, there are stages to being an artist online. The first stage is when you're just starting out, a wee baby in the sea of artists. A lot of these new art accounts are run by people new to art in general, but some, like me, have experience prior to that. It's really just a mixed bag. Once you get your foot in the door and post regularly, you shift into stage 2. This is where you start growing an audience. You find your niche, and in that niche you find your people. Of course, you can go broad and try appealing to more people, but you gotta burn it into your head that you won't please everyone. So you're probably just better off sticking to a handful of things you like. Eventually you find like-minded people, and that's how content creation stays fun. Eventually, if you're lucky enough, and I mean lucky, you'll get a lot of traction. This is when you hit the third stage, and this is when you become a big artist. Ooh. Now, whether you consider 11,000 to be big or not, I don't know, but I consider it big, and I will be the first to tell you that it is overrated. Of course, everyone has different opinions on it, but I feel like you can't properly go about debating it unless you've experienced it firsthand. Because it's just one of those things where you just gotta be there to get it, you know. In my experience, being even remotely popular was stressful. The fact I was still in high school definitely did not help, but I'm sure that even though I graduated, and as of writing and recording this, I have all the free time in the world, maintaining a giant social media account would still be very stressful. For some reason, when you hit a certain follower count, people don't see you as a regular person anymore, and they start to see you as one of the following. Either a brand, carefully curated by a team for optimal success, a machine built to constantly create with no effort or breaks, or an idol, beyond human, inherently perfect and incapable of mistakes. Sometimes, God forbid, they see you as all three, and that is the worst. Most of the time people saw me as the idol, but I think that's just because the type of people in my specific niche were used to idols, because my main fandom is like K-pop, so it was just, you know, it's not exactly a surprise. Idolization is never a good idea. People are always gonna fuck up, and that defeats the whole purpose of an idol, who's usually meant to be this perfect idea of someone. A lot of people who followed me made it very obvious how much they idolized me, and I already know history is repeating itself on my new account. Please do not worship me! I am no god, I am but a mere mortal. Unfortunately, even if I tell them not to, it's just bound to happen. I never really understood why they would consider me a role model, but it stressed me out when I fully realized that people genuinely saw me that way. And it didn't help that for years I was a severe people pleaser. It's not as bad now, but it's still kind of there. So I was constantly losing my mind, trying to be perfect and never make any wrong moves just to keep everyone happy. But even when I acted perfect, people still found something to get pissed at me for. So eventually, I noticed that, and it helped me realize that I just did not need to be putting in all that effort for something that was just gonna happen no matter what. Some people seem to entirely forget that behind the account there was an actual person there. And this is just a general internet thing. But when you have a bigger audience, that issue comes after you a whole lot more often. This may be a bit extreme, but I genuinely believe the concept of anonymity has ruined people. Everyone is so fucking cruel now, and it's because they believe that hiding behind a faceless account online just gonna dissolve the consequences. It's not how that fucking works, by the way! Everyone gets harassed nowadays, but artists get it pretty bad online. It's pretty common for me to get a comment from a burner account insulting me, and even with my current small following. It doesn't bother me much anymore, but the volume of it when I was a big artist did cause a bit of trouble for me. Even looking past the art, I got a lot of harassment for being queer. I actually got death threats for being trans on a regular basis. Truthfully, I would like to mention that this does in fact still happen, like, regularly. When you have a big following, it's like painting a giant target on your back, so you gotta be very mindful of that. Regardless of how you feel about the people you consider celebrities, you have to keep in mind that they are still people. They are human, they're the same as you, and I have a feeling you wouldn't be too happy if you had some people slobbering on your feet, worshipping you, and other people ranting about how they want to kill you at the same time. Yeah, but everyone's different, right? It's tough trying to maintain a giant audience like that while still keeping your head screwed on, and I have nothing but respect for all the creators who have even bigger followings than I ever did. I really don't know how they can hold together like that. To say it's admirable is really underselling it. So, what should you take away from this? Well, if you want to grow an audience yourself, be prepared. It's gonna be long, it's gonna be tough. Maybe if people wanted, I could probably make a video of how I wound up getting to that point, but I will let you know now, it'd be kind of boring, kind of quick, because there's not much for me to say for that, it just kind of happened. If you're just someone who wants to support creators, just try to remember that those creators are on the same level as you. They're not any better than you, they're just regular people. They're the same kind of people you'd run into at the store, same kind of people you'd see taking the bus to school. They're human, so just treat them as such. A very special thank you to my Ko-Fi members. This was supposed to come out around March, so I guess you guys are getting double shoutouts or something. Here's some clovers on the screen. Yay! There's for March. Very special thank you to Carla's Loading and God for supporting me again. If you want to support me, there's 3 different tiers on Ko-Fi. This video, as I'm recording this, is probably going to be a lot shorter than my last one. I don't know, this one just kind of felt more of like a me complaining type of thing instead of like, oh, here's some advice type video like I did last time, but I don't know, I don't usually make videos like this, so let me know how you feel about that. If you have any suggestions for other videos, feel free to lend them to me, and I'll probably make something with it. Right now I have emergency commissions open. It's a long story. I have all that information on my Instagram, which is most likely where you guys are coming from anyway, so you probably all know it. But if you can support me financially, I would appreciate that. My commissions are discounted, so if you've been wanting to commission me, now is a pretty good time because you can get things not as expensive. And if you can't support financially, spreading the word around would also work wonders. Thank you for sticking around, I appreciate it. I'll see you whenever I make another video. Hopefully it comes out sooner, hopefully I don't have another emergency.